Sports channels around the world have been glazing the San Antonio Spurs over the last few months. My question is, Spurs fans, where the heck were they before the season started? What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports, TGIF, and happy Friday the 13th. Real quick, tough loss last night to the Denver Nuggets. I'd really like to see both teams at full strength so we can find out who the better team is. Wemby, I believe, has not played in either game, and the Spurs are 1-1 against Denver. I think we play them 2 more times, so hopefully we have Wemby for both of those. That being said, I want to talk about today's subject, how nobody believed in our Spurs. You guys enjoy calling out when I occasionally have a bad take. This video is not about receipts on you guys. This is receipts on NBA analysis that didn't think we were even a playoff team going into this season. And then I'm going to get to my original prediction is, let's just get into the topic for the video. Let's start off with NBA.com. They had 4 writers give their predictions. They were all very similar to this. We're going to just do Steve Assburner. He said the Spurs would finish 9th. 1 spot behind the Dallas Mavericks, who are one of the worst teams in the Western Conference, and right ahead of the Sacramento Kings, who are the worst team in the Western Conference. Okay, that's enough at NBA.com. Let's go to our friends at ESPN. You know, ESPN, that right now the Spurs are a glazed donut with them these days. Well, before the season, they were a plain donut. They gave us a 7% chance to make the playoffs and 42 projected wins. Now, they did say that they could make a real push to end their 6-year postseason drought. Well, forget the push, we're there. So, as usual, ESPN sucks it. Fadeaway World. I'll give them a little credit. They had us going 44-38. The reason I wanted to share this one is I thought this was interesting right here. In addition to Wemby, Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, and Jeremy Sohan will be the 3 most important young players in determining the Spurs' amount of success next season. I'm going to give them a pass here because I thought Jeremy would be a big contributor either in the starting lineup or off the bench or mix, and that was not the case. But 44-38, at least they had us a few games over 500. How about these 4 jabroners from CBS Sports? They had the Spurs finishing 7th, 10th, 7th, 9th, 9th. So you average it out, they had us being a play-in team, and just barely a play-in team in some instances. A lot of folks believe, why did so many people believe in the Dallas Mavericks coming into this season? They had them finishing ahead of us a few times. And speaking of the Dallas Mavericks, I actually have a video clip coming up next from Sross, a.k.a. 6 Rings of Steel. He's one of the few basketball channels I actually watch, and he does a great job. But he really struck out on this one.
And then San Antonio. I think they're going to be playoff bound, but I don't think they're that much better than Dallas, as everybody's talking about, right?
Wrong. The Spurs are way better than Dallas. Dallas is one of the worst teams in the NBA, and I don't know why anyone going into this season would trust a team being led by Anthony Davis. No Kyrie Irving either. Dallas is a mess. So I don't know why so many people thought Dallas was going to be better than the Spurs. I really don't get it. I never thought they did. It is what it is. Cooper Flag, of course, has been very good for them, but everything else, it's the train wreck over there. And last but not least, you guys know probably, but I'm going to get into it. And this is not a pat on the back for me, by the way. I said 50 wins in playoffs. I underprojected a little bit because they're on pace for about 58 to 60 wins at the time of this video. But why did I say 50 wins in playoffs? Now, I didn't just do this as a Spurs fan. I looked at it from, the outside looking in, or however the analogy goes. I was like, this is year 3 of Victor Wembanyama. All I've heard about this guy is how great he's going to be, and now I've seen it with my own 2 eyes in about a year and a half. Why can't year 3 be the year with Wemby playing at probably a Wemby level, a healthy De'Aaron Fox, a year 2 Stephon Castle, a Dylan Harper who might contribute right away? Why can't year 3 be the year the San Antonio Spurs finally turn things around? Did I have my doubts about Mitch Johnson? I did, admittedly. And my reaction video is still on the channel where I was very upset that he was hired as the head coach. When I found out he was named head coach, I changed my stance a few days later, did a video, said I'm all in, and I've stayed with that since. But why not? Why? That's the question I have, Spurs fans. Why did so many people think that year 3, the analysis, the guys that have been tuning Wemby as an alien, as just an anomaly that can do so many crazy things a big man shouldn't be able to do? Yes, I know he had the season-ending injury last year, but why aren't these guys believing Wemby can turn the franchise around in year 3? This is what drives me crazy. You've been hyping the kid up coming into the NBA. You hype him up. You show his highlights all the time of how awesome he is. Gonna be the face of the NBA, blah, 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 blah. But then you don't believe this kid can turn the freaking San Antonio Spurs around in 3. I don't know why freaking. He can't turn them around in year 3? Really? What am I missing? Am I getting a little angry? Yes. Because I just don't get it. All they do is glaze the Spurs now. How every freaking other video I see on ESPN, Spurs are contenders. Spurs might win. Spurs are, Wemby this, Wemby that. I'm like, why didn't you believe in this kid before the season started? That's kind of the point of this video. The point of the video is not nobody. I know some of you guys did, I did. But why did nobody, for the most part, believe in the Spurs, yet they were hyping up their best player consistently? And saying the De'Aaron Fox trade was great. The guy's probably saying that the Spurs won't be good enough this year. Voted for Stephon Castle as Rookie of the Year. So the reigning Rookie of the Year, former college champions, not going to be better in year 2? What am I missing? Apparently nothing. Because I thought they'd be better, and they are. And a lot of you watching thought they would be too. A lot of you coming into the season said, TSR, we're making the playoffs. A lot of you said championship at the beginning of the year. Admittedly, I did not think that we were there yet. I thought maybe next year would be the earliest year talking about that, next season, but we're here now. The Spurs are a legit contender to win a title. They've beaten OKC numerous times. Denver, we've beaten without Wemby. With Wemby last night, yes, we probably won because our defense without Wemby, let's be honest, it's not very good. As much as I like Luke Kornet, he is not a starter in the NBA. He's a fantastic backup center. We can go all the way. Will we? I don't know. I think the Spurs are going to be extremely difficult to defeat in a 7-game series, but we got to stay healthy too. And we got to hit our 3-point shots. We've talked about it on the channel before. When this team is hitting their threes, forget it. You're not beating the San Antonio Spurs. Although I don't know what our 3-point percentage was last night, so please actually let me know in the chat. Were we over 40% last night? I don't feel like we were. But I also don't remember. I should have checked that before I did the video. Unfortunately, I can't go back now and check that stat. But we're nearly, even if we lost last night at 40% or higher, we're nearly undefeatable when the Spurs shoot well from 3. Stephon Castle's catch-and-shoot 3 has been really, really picking up over the last, month. Dylan Harper's starting to turn his threes around a little bit. We are really in prime position to shock the world and win a title this season. I truly believe that. And that's all I got. Spurs fans, let me know. Coming into the season, did you think we were a contender? Did you think playoff team, play-in team? Did you think a lottery team again? Because I did see that. I saw some comments, TSR, one more year in the lottery, and then next year is when we really start to make the push. And your thoughts on the analysis. NBA.com, ESPN, Fadeaway, CBS. Why no respect? Why no love? And last but not least, what am I missing? Because a lot of people thought the Dallas Mavericks were pretty much right where we are right now coming into the season, and they've gone this way, and we've gone this way. So that's all I got. Let me know in the comments. Very interested in your thoughts on all this. Hope you're going to have a great weekend. See you tomorrow for the Hornets and the Spurs. That is at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, live on Prime, I believe. 3 or 3:30, somewhere around there. It's an early afternoon game, so it's going to be a little weird. That's all I got. Hit the thumbs up if you'd like to support the channel. Subscribe to Compart. We're awesome Spurs community. I thank you, and as always, go Spurs, go!